So now we know a little more about arrays and objects. Let's see if we can put some of these tricks to use here. So we've got this piece of data, this user. He's got a name, an age, and a favorite color. What if we stored all of that in a single object? Like, say, instead of having username, age, and favorite color variables, what if I just had this one variable called user that takes all the data out of the form and then gives me this object I can pass around? Say with a key username and a value of f.username.value and a key of age and a value of f.age.value and a key called favorite color with a value of, well, what if instead of the hex color, what if it were the div? I'm going to put my comma there just in case I come back and add more fields. How would I get the age out now? I could do user.age. I could also do user square bracket the string age, right? Either of those would get that out of there. So what? What good has that done me? I'm still calling this stuff 3 times. And if I had 10 items in my form, I'd have to do it 10 times. What if we could just loop over all of the attributes of our user and call render list item and append child for each one? We can do that now. We have the power. Where would I start? What do I do? Let's just get rid of these. Heck, let's get rid of these. I want to loop over everything in user here, each of his attributes, and add each one, create a list item for each one, and append that list item to the list. In other words, I want to do the same action on every member of that thing. Same thing we did here. I have an object. I want to do something with the keys and values of each item in that object. So these 3 things, username, age, and favorite color, those are basically the labels that we pass to render list item, right? What if I did something like this? Const labels equals Object.keys user. That would give me an array with username, age, and favorite color, right? Agreed? Does that make sense that it would do that? Does it? Do we need to go over that part a little more? Does that much make sense? When pausing like this is your opportunity to ask questions. Okay. So then we can loop over the labels, right? I can say labels.forEach. And then write a function in here that'll take the individual label. And then I can do the same thing to each one. What do I want to do? 2 things. Render a list item and append that list item to the list. How do I do it? I'm looping over an array of labels. And inside this function, I have the current label, either username, age, or favorite color. saved to that variable label. And I want to call render list item with it. What do I pass into render list item? Takes two arguments, a label and a value. Well, I've got the label, right? What's the value? I've got this user object up here, and it has these keys. I've got the key. How do I get the value out of that object? User, square bracket, label. Make sense? So that'll return me a list item. So I can say const item equals that. What do I then want to do with that item? Yeah, list dot append item. Doesn't matter if there are 3 or 10 or 50. These 5 lines right here will work. We hope. Let's give it a try. Christine, age 291. Got a favorite color? Blue. That's a pretty nice blue. Uh-oh. Favorite color is not defined. Line 28. Render color, favorite color. Favorite color, not defined. No, it's not. I used to save it to a variable, but now I'm not doing that anymore. How do I actually pass the color into render color there? Have to remember how to get it out of the form. Remember how to do that? F dot favorite color dot value. That's the color, which will pass to render color to get the div. Refresh. Reti, age 101. Got a favorite color? Green. That's a good looking green. Now we're good. If this seems more complicated than the way we're doing it before, if we've been doing it from the beginning and we didn't know how many items we were going to end up having, it might have been easier, and it would definitely be easier in future projects as we start to do more things to each of these list items. As it is, to try to retrofit it into this, it's a little more complicated. Plus, we're just not used to using objects yet. But we'll get there. Ain't that right, Sam? All right. So what have we done? Now we store the user's data in an object. Commit, push. Good deal.